Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for BroadwayWorld. I'm at the launch party for Eddie Shapiro's new book called Nothing Like a Dame, Conversations with the Great Women of Musical Theater for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS and Oxford University Press. And some of the dames are on hand to celebrate.
I really, it's their generosity, their time and their stories, their lives that made this book, and some of them have continued with that generosity by being here tonight. And really, I would have given them a free book, so they did not have to show. It is a huge honor to introduce, are they ready for me to do this? Laura Benanti. Judy Kaye. By the way, Judy Kaye is in rehearsals right now for Little Me at Encores, which is 2 weekends from now, so go see her there. Came straight from rehearsal. Laura Benanti came straight from doing a reading today. There's a woman upstairs who is in rehearsals for Bullets Over Broadway, came straight from rehearsal. Karen Ziemba. And a woman whose own birthday is coming up, and that itself will be a party for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. It's called the Blankety Blank Birthday Bash. It's Debra Monk's birthday bash.
So here we are. Tonight's a big night. Tell us what we're doing here.
Oh my gosh, I'm shocked to be here because this was a 5-year process. We're celebrating this, and the reason this book was a 5-year process, I should say, it's Nothing Like a Dame. It's Conversations with the Great Women in Musical Theater. And that itself, as you can imagine, how do you choose the 20 great women in musical theater? So there were rules. You have to have a Tony Award. You have to have a career in musical theater that's, musicals throughout your life, not just, do one and then leave to do something else. And you have to have said yes to being in the book. Those were the rules. But then after that, it was, so you sit down with someone like Donna Murphy, and she's got 2 hours to spare, so you talk, and you've made a dent, and so you have to meet again, and then that's 9 months later, and that's 2 hours, and then it's a year till the next meeting, so 5 meetings later, you get the chapter, but then multiply that by 20 women, and it's a 5-year process. So to be here now feels like, oh my gosh, I'm sort of stunned. So yeah.
Because all these women have such stunning careers. You could do a volume on each of them. How did you decide and choose? What were the challenges of deciding what went into the book and what didn't go in the book?
Some of that was I would send pieces to the women themselves and say, do you really want this in print? Because there were some things that, as you can imagine, were questionable, but mostly it was pretty self-evident what worked. I just really wanted each chapter to be career encompassing, so to cover every show that they did, and I wanted, because I've read so many articles in Playbill and in the New York Times, and I always feel like I want more, so I wanted each of these chapters to go as far as I wanted all of those articles to go. But the most exciting thing for me, before I ever sat down with any of them, I always read a lot of press, because I want to see what they've said to the press before, to make sure that we're not repeating stories, and there are so many things that I had never seen in print, so I was just so excited to be able to commit them to page and give them to other people to read. So it's great for me.
How excited are you to be here tonight?
I'm extremely excited. I just read my chapter and I say the F word like 18 times. So I just want to take this moment to apologize to my mother and my grandmother. So sorry.
Tell me what this meant to you. I mean, you've known Eddie for a long time, right?
No, I met Eddie on the book. Yeah, I met Eddie doing this and then we became friends. And then I just read the chapter where he put in the F-bomb 15 times, so now I'm never speaking to him again. So that's how that goes.
It comes down to the F-bomb, doesn't it?
Yeah. yeah, this is it. So, but it's a really great book. I'm excited to read all the different chapters and read all my heroes. So,
Well, it's very important because this is a book for Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS.
Yeah.
Laura, you've done a lot for them. Tell me what that organization means to you.
well, you know, they've raised so much money for not only AIDS research, but the Women's Health Initiative, and they've raised more money than basically any other organization. So, I'm just thrilled to be working with them and for them, and I'm grateful to them. So, you know, any F-bombs that I can throw that can help raise money for them, I will.
You know what's great, though? This is conversations with great women of the musical theater. You love the theater.
I do.
We lose you to film and TV, but you love the theater, don't you?
I mean, you'll never lose me to film and TV. I always come back to the theater. I talk about that in the book that I'm holding. You know, I love doing television, but I also love doing theater, so I hope to do both for the rest of my life. But theater is my home. Television is my mistress, but theater is my wife.
Now, can you tell us if it's something you're working on right now?
Yeah, I'm doing Most Happy Fella at City Center Encores, and I have a few concerts that I'm doing, and then some other stuff that I can't really talk about yet.
So how excited are you to be doing encores?
I'm very excited to be doing encores. I'm so excited to be playing this role with Cheyenne Jackson and Shuler Hensley, and Casey Nicholas directing it, so it's going to be wonderful.
Have they told you how quick it all goes up and how you're like thrown out of the cannon?
I've done it. I did Wonderful Town there with Donna Murphy, which I talk about in the book, so I know how hard it is. I'm already working on it, so.
Because you primarily done Wonderful Town. You also did Gypsy, sort of their summer series there.
Yeah.
But that first time, is it scary or is it exciting?
It's both. You know, excitement and fear are different sides of the same coin, so I just try to reframe it always to be excitement.
So how excited are you to be here tonight?
I'm thrilled to be in this book. Really honored, actually, to be with all these incredible women.
So how long did you sit with Eddie? Was it over a period of time or?
I can't actually remember, but it was a while. I mean, it was because it's a long piece, so it might have been a couple days. And I remember it was in my dressing room when I was doing curtains. So yeah, took a while, but it was fun.
And what this means to you being a part for Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS?
Well, it's always the best to do anything for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS because they're the greatest organization we have. And what they do and the work they do is so important to all of us and to our country. So I'm behind anything they do. So I'm thrilled to be a part of that always.
Now, there's a big BC EFA event coming up for your birthday. What can you tell us? Tell us.
Well, I'll be 65. I know I don't look it.
You look stunning.
I know. I'll be 65 this year. I decided I wanted to do something really fun and different. I've never done a concert. I've never done an act. So I called Tom Viola. I said, what do you think about me doing a rock and roll evening, 10-piece band with guests, some dirty jokes thrown in. So it's kind of it's called Totally Hot and a Little Dirty. And it's going to be really a fabulous show. We're so excited about it. February 24th, 8 o'clock, BroadwayCares.org. Debra Monk, and you can get tickets.
So here we are. How excited are you to be here for this launch of this book?
It's amazing. I've already started reading the book. While I was eating cheese, I was reading the first chapter of the book.
So talk about the book. So now your dear friend Elaine Stritch is in the book.
She is. She's the first chapter, actually. There's an incredible picture of her doing The King and I. Let's see. Elaine Stritch and The King and I. And it's so funny because I've never seen a picture of this, and she was telling me like a couple weeks ago about when she was doing The King and I, she said, I said to Dick Rogers, Richard Rogers, so I said to Dick in rehearsals, I said, all the kids start singing Getting to Know You. She was like, how did they learn English so quickly? She said, I hadn't started teaching them yet. And he leaned over and he said to her, don't ask any more questions.
That's classic.
It's great. I know. It's amazing.
Now, this book, a lot of the proceeds are going to Broadway Cares, Equity Fights AIDS. I know this is an organization that means a lot to you. When you were doing A Little Night Music, you helped raise lots of money. Tell me what this organization means to you.
It's incredible. I mean, it's an amazing organization. I have so many friends that the organization helps. And my parents were just up here in November, and they were just donating money left and right to Broadway Cares. And I think it educates people from all over the country about this disease and the hardships that people face. And that's something it's certainly done for my family. And that's, it's really, really amazing. It really has opened their eyes. It's incredible.
How excited are you to be in this book?
I'm very excited. I haven't read it yet. I haven't seen the pictures yet. I don't know what it looks like or anything, but it's exciting. It's, I feel like I'm a part of theater history, and and I'm really glad to be included.
And this is also a book for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, which is an organization that means a lot to you. Tell me what it means to you, Lillias.
Absolutely. Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS has helped many of my friends survive the AIDS epidemic. It's helped them with meals and with housing and with money for their bills. And I'm just always pleased to be involved in what they're doing because they really do help people. And I'm always attracted to organizations that do the work that they say they're going to do. So I'm glad that they're doing this. I'm glad the proceeds are going to Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, and I hope everybody who sees this goes out and buys at least 3 copies of the book. You can buy it as for Christmas presents for Valentine's Day, which, by the way, is coming up. And I'm doing a big concert at the Schubert, at the Schomburg, at the Schomburg, not the Schubert. At
The Schubert, the Schoenberg.
at the Schomburg at 135th and Lenox. I'm doing a big concert to benefit the Negro Ensemble Company. But this is also a very good cause. So I'm hoping people go out and buy it and enjoy it.
So how excited are you to be in this book?
Well, I can't quite believe I graduated to the point where I'm actually in a book, have my own chapter. Wow.
Well, you know, I know one of the criteria was to win a Tony Award. You have 2 Tony Awards.
That's right, I do, don't I?
Where do you keep them?
They're both on the grand piano in the living room, staring at me. And one, you know, they changed. One's bigger than the other. I thought I could wear them as earbobs, but I won't be able to do that unless I sort of walk around like this. No, it's one of those unexpected joys and perks of being in this crazy business. And you know, you just do your work and suddenly the phone rings and you're in Little Me, and or you're in Nice Work if you can get around the 20. You know, that's why one of the reasons we do this, I think. We all like living on the edge.
Because tomorrow we're coming over to City Center because you're doing the next encores, Little Me. How excited are you about doing that in Cy Coleman's score?
Well, I have a long history with Cy Coleman, and I loved him very much, and I miss him pretty much every day of my life because he was a good friend and a brilliant musician. And we get to play in his sandbox with this music and Carolyn Lee's lyrics and, you know, this great script and the looniness of this piece. And it was actually a role that I was looking forward to being right for. So this is really cool. I'm loving it.
You know, you're in this book, which is Conversations of Great Women of the Musical Theater. You are a baby of the theater. I mean, you are a musical theater. Tell me what you love about this business.
What do I love? I think I sort of touched on it. I love the surprises. I have a friend who says he's in this business for the parties, and you know, in some ways that's true. It's because it's always a party. Even the hard work is a party. Even the disappointment is a party. It's the people you meet. It's the, you know, it all sounds like a song lyric, you know, it's like there's no business like show business, but it's true. The opportunity to express yourself through great writing most of the time, and create characters and make people laugh and cry, and so it's the same stuff we did as little kids. But I get paid for it now. It's really, it's a unique pleasure.
So here we are. So you're here for this launch of this new book. Tell me why you want to be here, Norm.
Well, my friend Eddie Shapiro is just a phenomenal writer. I've loved him for years. We've been friends for a long time. And I actually feel like I'm kind of part of this book because he asked my opinion about certain things and certain people and asked me could I get in touch with certain people. And I'm just glad this baby came to fruition, you know? I'm so happy for him.
So this is sort of part 1, Nothing Like a Dame. He should do sort of this Nothing Like a Guy next, right? And do all the Broadway men, right?
Absolutely. I think that'd be a great idea. From your mouth to God's ears. I don't know. This is fantastic, though. Everybody, you know, the guys are okay. We're just kind of like an appendage to the women. Everybody wants to see the women up there belting their guts out or whatever and have the emotion. And these women that he has in this book they're like the iconic dames of Broadway. So, you know, not to steal a name, but
a lot of girls that you've worked with too.
Yeah. It's been phenomenal. I've been honored to work with a lot of these women, or at least been in some sort of concert situation with them. And every last one of them have been amazing and tremendous. And I've been in awe standing right next to them or being a part of their group.
What's also great about this is a book where the proceeds are going to Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, which is an organization that means a lot to you. Tell me.
I just, ever since I've been in New York, I've been doing things for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. I mean, it's just a great organization for one, but also you get to meet a lot of great people, and I've made a lot of fantastic friends, lifelong friends. So I'm glad that he's doing that. I'm so happy. I keep looking at this book. I'm just so happy that we're doing this and having this launch.
How excited are you to be in this book? How are you?
This is such a cool thing to be part of this book and to be along with these ladies who I adore, admire, and I can't wait to see what they had to say. And it's just cool to be included, And Eddie Shapiro, the writer, he was such a sweet, funny, very smart guy who just loves the theater. God bless him,
See, what I love about this book is there's women from the golden age, there's girls from the 80s, girls from the 90s, so it was a beautiful mix of everybody talking in this book.
To be able to read about what Carol Channing and Cheetah and Leslie and all these, Angela, oh my God, Angela. So it's going to be it's going to be a wonderful read, I think, if nothing else. And I think it's going to be sort of like, oh, really? They said that.
I see this is volume 1. I see a lot more volumes coming out.
Oh yeah, I mean, people just keep coming into this business, and we learn from each other. We are influenced by each other and our peers, and we try to support each other as much as possible. And I've worked with a lot of these ladies, and I want to work with the rest of them.